Okay, so Chris Paul just cannot catch a break when it comes to team ownership, no matter what team he plays on. Okay, I mean, I don't know what it is. Like, is there something about Chris? Like, does every NBA team owner hates Chris? No, no, I don't think. Of course, that's not the case. But let's go back and look at it. All right, so Chris Paul was drafted by the New Orleans Hornets. All right, the team that is the Pelicans now. They used to be known as, they was formerly known as the New Orleans Hornets. All right. He played there from like 2004, 2005, all the way to like 2011. But right before he got traded to the Clippers, guess what? You know what? Ownership. They switched owners. And what happened was, because the Pelicans did not have an owner, the NBA took over ownership. Okay. And at that time, he was traded to the Los Angeles Lakers. All right, in a three-way trade that involved the Lakers, Pelicans, and Rockets. And the Rockets fan, trust me, I did not like that trade. But anyways, the trade got called back by David Stern because guess what? The Lakers and the Rockets owners, they did not seek, and the Pelicans owner, they did not seek permission through him, and they didn't go through the proper channels to get that deal going. So he ends up coming back to New Orleans. But then next year, guess what? He's traded to the Los Angeles Clippers, who at the time who had Donald Sterling as the owner. Okay, well, a couple years in Clipper Nation, they get Lob City and all that good stuff going on, become contenders. And guess what happens, people? Guess what? Donald Sterling is recorded talking bad about African-American players and other people and stuff. And guess what? Due to that audio recording, that's what helped. That was the first initial step of getting him out as the owner of the Clippers. In comes Steve Ballmer. All right. So Steve Ballmer, let me see. As the owner of the Clippers, they wasn't able to win the championship with that Clipper team. So they traded him to my Houston Rockets. Well, Les Alexander was the owner. Okay. Now, I don't recall any beef with Chris Paul and Les Alexander. I don't recall any of that. As far as I know, it seemed like it was a good professional relationship. And me personally, I think Les Alexander was a great owner and stuff. I wish he still owned the Rockets. No knock on Tillman Fertitta. But anyways, let's sign Chris Paul to a big deal. Okay, Chris was with the Rockets for 2 years. So before year 2 started, Les Alexander sold the team to Tillman Fertitta. Okay, then Tillman Fertitta, word around the campfire, around the place, was that he did not like that contract that Chris Paul had. He wanted to get off of that contract. He felt like it did not make any sense, especially with Chris Paul kept getting hurt at that time in 2018, which is understandable. But here's the thing. I don't think Chris Paul and Tillman Fertitta had any beef, but it's just the fact that, man, everywhere he goes, except for OKC, guess what? There's a change in ownership. So he gets traded to OKC. He was there for 1 year, but is it possible that had he been there a second year, there would have been some issues with the owner? We will never know, people. But anyways, after 1 year at OKC, he goes to the Phoenix Suns, helped get the Phoenix, Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, they helped get and Monty Williams and James Jones, they helped get the Phoenix Suns to the NBA Finals, where they lost to the Milwaukee Bucks in Game 6. All right, and everything's supposed to be going uphill for this team. Very good with diversity and stuff like that, as far as having an African-American coach, African-American GM, who was the GM of the year. Shout out to James Jones. And guess what? Now the team owner of the Suns, Robert Sarver, okay, allegedly, has been saying some racial things, some very what's the word I'm looking for? Some very like inappropriate behavior as far as words and stuff regarding females. And he does deny this. There is no audio as far as what we know right now. Right now is word of mouth through certain people who used to work for him and stuff like that. My problem with situations like that, though, is like, hey, man, don't wait until you're no longer with the company to start saying what this person did was wrong. You know what I'm saying? So that way we don't see an incentive on it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying the other people who remain anonymous are lying. That's just how I feel about that. True courage is when you can go ahead and say that even while you working for that place, or you still have something to gain or whatnot. But anyways, he denies it. So here's the thing. We can't treat him the same way we would treat Donald Sterling in this situation. But here's the commonality. It's Chris Paul, year 2 in Phoenix. Man, ownership. So what's going on, people? Like, what's going on? It's like, is it something about Chris Paul? Is it something about him? Like, what's going on? Is his people doing these investigations like it did with Donald Sterling or something? I don't know. But it's like, golly, it's like, This guy here, he's one of the greatest point guards, one of the greatest players to ever play the game, people. And the thing about it is, you know, that Clipper team, they had the potential to potentially win something, but after that audio came out about with Donald Sterling and stuff, guess what? How you going to attract free agents over there? How do you still play for an NBA owner like that? You know what I'm saying? So they had to go through a lot of turnover and stuff, and that, I believe that set the franchise back big time over there. I'm not sure what's going to happen with this Phoenix Suns franchise on this note, but I do know that they did not sign DeAndre Ayton to a big deal. And here's the thing, not signing him, those talks ended before this information came out. So it's like, if you're DeAndre Ayton, even if the Suns came to you with a hell of an offer and stuff, hey, he might not want to sign it because he's like, man, I can't play for ownership that's like this. You know what I'm saying? That's very negative. That's bringing a toxic work environment and stuff to the table. Even if that means he may take a little bit of less in salary or something like that, that's going to play a big factor right there, people. I'm not saying Robert Sarver is going to lose his team. I have no idea. I don't know the probability of it, but I know right now this does not look good. It just does not look good, okay? But hopefully the truth will eventually come out. All right. So hopefully the truth will come out and we'll see how it's going to go down. But it sucks because, hey man, I'm a big fan of Coach Monty Williams. And he had said something a few days ago. He said, if those things are true, he said, of course, that's going to make it hard for me to coach this team. Man, check this out. It's already bad enough that you don't see a lot of African Americans being head coaches and stuff like that and GMs. And then it's like the one GM who gave James Jones and Monty Williams another chance at it, this situation happens, and a lot of times it's like you can be, some people can be conflicted on how they think about this, because it's like, what do we say all the time? Pretty often, people, we say, well, it's not your words, it's your actions. So if his words were inappropriate words and stuff like that toward African Americans and women, but his actions is showing that he's very diverse. Well, how do we weigh the actions over the words? And here's another thing. We don't have proof that he said those things. This is he say, she say, people. You know what I'm saying? So, but an investigation is still going on. We'll see what's gonna be the end result of that. But also, so far, man, his actions is that, hey, he hired Monty Williams. I don't think he just hired him because he's an African American. He hired him because, hey, he's qualified for the job. And unfortunately, it should not have taken Monty Williams this long to get another head coaching gig. He is a good coach. And I've seen worse coaches than him, no matter, get jobs and continue to get recycled and stuff. You follow what I'm saying? Like how many, like Tom Thibodeau didn't, you saw the job he did in Minnesota. He couldn't even maintain their locker room over there. You understand what I'm saying? But all of a sudden he get the Knicks job. I ain't hating on him, but it's like, hey, what makes him better than Monty Williams? You feel what I'm saying? But this is something that's going to pay worth paying attention to. And then it's unfortunate that the Phoenix Suns right now, they're like 4-5, 4-6. So they're not off to the big start like they had last year and stuff. So this right here, this is going to affect the team. This is going to affect the team. And it's like, I'm not a Phoenix Sun fan, but I'm not a Phoenix Sun hater, but I like what they're doing over there. It affects me how I see the Phoenix Suns. I know it's going to affect some of them. I'm not sure if it's going to affect all of them in a good way or a bad way, but I think it's a conversation that's probably going to be had in that locker room, when teammates talking amongst each other. It was just a lot of stuff going on. But I hope they get that stuff resolved. Not just, if you're Chris Paul, man, like, one thing with Chris Paul is like, a lot of times he gets hurt. And it's like, if he's healthy this year, just like how he was last year, knock on wood, let's hope that this young man has good health. It's like, man, I'm finally healthy and I got this cloud like this over my head again, just like when I was with the Clippers. So this is something that's very, very, this is something that's very unfortunate, very, very unfortunate, but we'll of course we'll keep up with this story and see what goes down though. But I tell you what, if you're watching the YouTube channel, share your thoughts and comments below. What do you think about what's going on with the Phoenix Suns? And do you think that, like, Chris Paul is not only is he cursed with having bad health with injuries, do you think he's cursed with having like ownership turnover? Because here's the thing. You could have a real good team. They're just like that Houston Rockets team. They still had a good team, but guess what? Tillman Fertitta, hey, new owner. Listen, I don't these not the players I brought in. These not the coaches and the GM that I hired. I want my own people. I want to bring my own thing in, do my own research. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's going to happen. Even if let's say if they were to switch to a different team, to another team owner, I mean. So, but we'll see. Hopefully everything works out. The truth comes out. Those who are seeking justice can truthfully get their justice that's in this situation, and we'll see what it do. But share your thoughts down below. Let me know. Do you think that Chris Paul is just destined to have team owners switch every time he's there, or do you think that or do you think like, all right, well, do you think Robert Sarver is going to continue to be the owner of the Phoenix Suns? Do you think this is just like he say, she say, and there's no truth to it? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Doesn't matter if you agree or disagree with me. You know what I'm saying? I'm open up to all opinions. You know what I'm saying? And share your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like and subscribe button.